in the Nitish Katara case, the life sentence of the 3 accused in the case, in fact, now has been upheld. Remember, the Delhi High Court was expected to give its judgment today on the appeals of the 3 convicts against what the trial court had ruled. Siddharth Pandey with us from the capital. Siddharth, just give us details of what happened in court. We believe the life sentence has now been upheld.
Well, that's right. In fact, of course, the entire order is yet to come out, but in just a short order read out by the justice here in the court, the court basically said that it's upheld the order of the trial court. The trial court had found all 3 men guilty and had sentenced them to life terms in jail. So the High Court has upheld the order of the trial court, and that basically means that all the 3 accused in this particular case will continue to remain in jail. But they had all asked for acquittal as far as the High Court is concerned. The High Court has turned down their appeals. The High Court also separately is also hearing another appeal both by the prosecution as well as by the mother of the victim in this particular case, asking for an enhancement of punishment from a life term to a death sentence. That, of course, the High Court has yet to rule on. But as far as the plea by the 3 accused for an acquittal is concerned, the High Court has turned that down. It said that this was an honor killing, and as a result of which they were sentenced by the trial court. The High Court upholding that order and basically saying that the 3 will continue to serve their life terms in jail.
All right, Siddharth, we also know that the accused have also asked for a retrial of the case. Where does that stand as of now, given this judgment?
Well, in fact, the 3 of the accused in this particular case, Vikas and Vishal Yadav, as well as Sukhdev Pahalwan, all the 3 men were found guilty by the trial court for murdering Nitish Katara in a manner of honor killing is what the court had termed it then. They had appealed before the High Court against the order, against the trial court's order. They had said that in fact that the prosecution had brought in evidence, the entire case was prejudiced against them, and so basis on that they'd actually asked for an acquittal. But of course the High Court has not found merit in their particular case, and in fact has upheld the trial court's order, and that essentially means that the 3 of the people accused in this particular crime will continue to serve life terms in jail. What's also interesting is the fact that there are 2 other pleas before the High Court, that of course from the prosecution as well as from the mother of the victim. They have both asked for an enhancement of punishment from a life term to a death sentence. That of course the High Court is examining, and that particular order will come out later on. But as far as acquittal is concerned, the High Court has gone through the entire transcript of what really happened in the trial court, has found that the trial court arrived at a correct conclusion as far as the guilt is concerned, and has basically said that the 3 of the accused will remain in jail, where they will serve out their life sentences.
In fact, is it likely, Siddharth, or have you heard anything about whether we can expect an appeal against this decision as far as the accused are concerned?
Well, that's what some of the lawyers were already saying, that they will be appealing against this, and of course that is an option that's open to them. But like I said, what's going to also be now relevant is the fact that while of course their particular plea has been turned down by the High Court, they plead that they be let off, the fact that they be acquitted. That plea has been turned down, and what's really important is also the fact that the High Court is examining an appeal by the prosecution and the mother of the victim for an enhancement of punishment. That order yet to come out, so that's going to be interesting as well. Of course, they can go ahead as far as the accused are concerned. They can go and appeal this order either before a larger bench or of course the Supreme Court. But in fact, lawyers will have to consider both the options, whether they do that right now or they actually wait for the other order from the High Court to also come out. Of course, that route of appeal is open to them. They can go to the Supreme Court as well. But right now, of course, what the lawyers also waiting for is the entire order from the High Court. Do remember, the High Court's almost reserved this matter for almost a year. So the High Court coming out with that particular order, saying that as far as the punishment awarded by the trial court, the entire conclusion arrived at by the trial court, that is correct. Essentially, that's what the High Court has found. that the trial court was correct, and that is why it's upheld the trial court's order, which basically had sentenced all the three men to life terms in jail for the murder of Nitish Katara.
Right, and Siddharth, as you were just saying that while the legal course of an appeal is available to the accused, the prosecution and in fact Nitish Katara's mother, Neelam Katara, have in fact asked, they have filed appeals asking for enhancement of this sentence. When is that case likely to come up?
Well, that of course it's up to the court now, because the court separated all the three pleas, one by the prosecution, one by Mrs. Katara, as well as of course one it had clubbed an appeal by the accused. So that of course the High Court is going to have to deliver that judgment. It's up to them as to when they actually come to that. But right now, of course, the important news is that as far as the entire trial conducted by the lower court, by the trial court is concerned, the High Court has gone through that, not found any error in that, and it basically agreed with the final judgment that the trial court arrived at. And the fact that the trial court has found both all the three men guilty, the fact that it sentenced all three to a life term in jail, the High Court has found merit in that. It's upheld that particular order. So no relief for the other brothers as well as their associate Sukhdev Pahalwan. All three men will continue to serve their life term in jail. Of course, as you are saying, the fact is that both the prosecution as well as the mother of the victim have asked for an enhancement of that punishment. That of course the High Court will deliberate on. In the meanwhile, what's important is that even if they do appeal, they may either wait it out to see what the High Court does as far as the other two pleas are concerned, or of course go right ahead and appeal before the Supreme Court. That's an option that's actually open to them, but they will be going very carefully through the order of the High Court, because the High Court it's a lengthy order, is what we are being told. It's taken almost a year to actually come out with its final order, and the fact that it had reserved this matter in last year, but the High Court, having gone through what the trial court had done, it had gone through all the evidences presented at the trial court level. It's gone through that and finally concluded the trial court order was correct. It's upheld that order, and it has basically turned down the appeal by the three people who were convicted in this particular case. Bani.
All right, Siddharth, thanks very much for joining us there with all those details.